Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing. Today, we're discussing a model launched as you see it here in 2013. This is the full ceramic Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Diver, reference 15707CE in black ceramic with titanium hardware. The watch is 42 millimeters in diameter, 14.2 millimeters thick from lug to lug, just measuring the case, 54 millimeters. If we measure these titanium intermediate links, the plots as they're called, then the total horizontal distance across the wrist is 58 millimeters, which is why this watch, even on the diver style matte rubber strap, wears large. Now, ceramic is very light, so is titanium, so is sapphire, and so is rubber. So this watch on the wrist feels almost toy-like. Now, it's not super duper light the way, say, an ultra thin in titanium would be, but it's nothing like a full steel offshore. If you don't want your watch to weigh too much, you don't want a pendulum on the wrist, this is a great way to go. And because it's ceramic, it's virtually scratch impervious. Now, you can also see that it's thinner than the chronographs as it doesn't have a modular movement inside it. This will fit underneath a jacket cuff, if not a tight dress sleeve. Make no mistake, this is not going to fit underneath a tight dress shirt. You can see from over the top, it's pushing out to the edge of my wrist, so I'm not limited by the weight of it because it is pretty light, but I am limited by the size of it. I think you need a wrist my size or larger to wear this. So 16 centimeters circumference and up. Like every Royal Oak and Offshore, it wears a size or two bigger. Think of it as more of a 43 or 44 millimeter round watch. Strap is a lovely piece. It looks like it's cut. Now, this is a term we often use, injection molded and cut, to describe straps. To get this fine little bevel on the side, details like this is why I suspect it is a cut strap. And then it's got a sort of matte finish molded in, so it's bright orange, but it's not reflective. We have two strakes that visually extend the plots, and you can see this is a brand new Audemars Piguet factory strap without crimping or gouging. We have an AP factory titanium pin buckle, and you can see it features both subtle polish and then a lot of satination. The case is finished to the same degree as a metal offshore, which is to say a very high degree and artisanally so. Things like these expanding bevels are difficult to achieve on metal. Ceramic is much harder, and of course you can chip and fracture ceramic if you don't know what you're doing. So the quality of the finishing, the faceting, the polish, the satination, and the breaks between them on the crown guards, on the lugs, on the bezel, it's really impressive. You can see there's even a contrast between polish on the outer face of the crown and satin on the side, and there's micro beveling on the edge of the crown guards. So we've got a screw-down crown, 300-meter water resistance. This is a true ISO 6425 compliant dive watch. The timing reference is a ratcheting, unidirectional rotating internal bezel. So line that up with the minute hand. Now you've got a 0 to 60-minute count-up timer. I have long preferred dive bezels to chronographs for ease of use, ease of reading, and lower downstream maintenance costs. That continues here. Mega Tapisserie dial. It is the large hobnail. And we have plenty of luminescence. You can see all three hands loomed, so you know if your watch is running while diving in the dark, and the entire bezel has been loomed. You can also see that the hands themselves are quite large, so you can easily read them against the bezel scale. We have a date that's a lot closer to the dial than it would be in an offshore chronograph of similar vintage, because this isn't a modular movement. You don't have to look past a chronograph module down toward a base movement. That's why this date appears to be flush, whereas many Royal Oak Offshore chronograph dates appear to be sunken. Now, we do have a hacking or stop seconds function, so you can stop the seconds hand and set the watch to a reference time. We also have a quick set function for the date, and you can see that the individual indices have been applied, and they stretch from the minute track outboard over the center dial, so they add wonderful depth. On the reverse side, AP manufacturer caliber 3120, bidirectional automatic winding with a 22-karat rotor. You can see ceramic bearings are used to improve efficiency and reduce maintenance needs. The rotor features the coats of arms of the Audemars and Piguet families to remind you that AP is, since 1875, the oldest continuously family-owned and run watchmaker in Switzerland. This movement was designed for a sports watch, so it's satisfyingly thick and thus shock-tolerant, and it features a full balance bridge with a Gyromax-style free-sprung balance for precision of adjustment and still more shock tolerance. It's a 60-hour power reserve, and it beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, or 3 hertz. The finish is a combination of mechanical and manual finishing. It's equal to the price of the watch and the billing of the Royal Oak Offshore. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this wonderfully scratch-resistant and water-resistant ceramic Royal Oak offshore diver.